Hey y'all!
Howdy!
Welcome to our channel. Welcome back to our second video now.
Yep.
Today in this video we're going to do a little bit of an introductory video, more so explaining like us as a couple and introducing ourselves. That way you all get to know us a little better.
Absolutely. We want you all to feel a little bit more connected with us, so we thought we'd share a little bit of our relationship.
You want to go first?
Sure, why not? Hi y'all, my name's Sean Bowie. I am 20 years old, and I am one of the biggest techno geeks you will ever see in your life. And that's one reason why she loves me.
I do. My name's Alexis Tony. I'm 21 years old, so a little bit older than him, but not much. And I love animals. That's a fun fact about me. I love animals.
That's her life.
Animals are my life, you're right. And food is life. I love food too.
Of course.
Yes.
I guess now we'll get into how we became a thing.
Right.
So back in the ye olde times of September of 2016,
right.
we were both working at Target. I was working first, and then she joined at around September. And
yep, I came along after he did. A year after he did.
Yes,
actually.
just about a year. And I was cool. Well, why don't you tell this part of the story? How about that?
I saw him first.
Yep, I'll give it to her.
I was working, because just for anyone who's never worked at Target before, he was electronics, so he worked in like the electronics section, obviously, and I was something called soft lines, which is basically working in the clothes. And for a lot of people who may not shop at Target a lot of times, the electronics department and the clothing department in Target are bordering each other.
Yep.
So our departments were right next to each other. Just keep that in mind. So basically, one fateful day, it was literally, I want to say, my first week there.
Yeah, I think you said that.
And I think it was like my first week.
Yeah.
And I had made some friends in my department and a couple of friends outside my department, but I was kind of content because, I wasn't working there to make friends or anything, but I was like, okay, whatever. Like, these people are cool. I really like the people who I work with. I'm content. And one day, in the first week of me working there again, I was straightening up some clothes, just doing my job, and all of a sudden, in front of me, he was walking down the little aisleway going to his department, and he did not see me, but I definitely saw him. And his hair, because this is what caught my eye, his hair, like, he has it because he likes to gel it, and he kind of like always has it smooth back. And I love it when hair looks like that on a guy. Like, that's one of my favorite hairstyles on a guy. He just got his hair cut, but it was a little bit longer when I first saw him, and I was like,
oh my God!
Who is that? So I remember I asked around, like, with the friends that I had just made, and I was asking around, and I was just like, hey, does anyone know him? Like, how long has he worked here, and what department is he in? And then, people were telling me all about, oh, that's Sean, he works in electronics. And I was like, cool.
And?
Oh.
And?
Well, there were a few people who we worked with who were under the impression that he was not straight and that he was gay and liked other men. It was a rumor. And no one had actually come to him and asked him.
Nope. And I didn't even know this was happening. I've been at that store for over a year, and I really didn't know any of this was happening behind me.
Yeah, he didn't know anyone was saying anything or had any kind of idea. He had no idea people thought he was gay.
Nope.
But people kept telling me he was gay, and some people thought he was like 23 years old. And he was, what were you? You were 19 at the time? He was 19 at the time, but everyone kept telling me, oh, he's 23. He lives with another coworker of ours. He's gay, this, that, and the third. And I was just like, I don't get the gay vibe. I was like, but hey, I mean, that's all right. That's good for him. So, and I wasn't really interested like that anyway because I actually had a boyfriend at the time. So I was just like, I wasn't worried about it, but he seemed like a cool person. I did think he was attractive, but I was just like, whatever, just, let me just keep on in my work.
Right. And months went by, and she would try and talk to me.
Right.
But she would have trouble getting the courage to come talk to me. So she would get like maybe a few sentences out, and that'd be about the extent of our conversations. Our first ever real conversation was her walking up to me and asking me if we had a special adapter for a Nintendo 64. Even though I knew we didn't have it, I was like, well, she looks like she really wants it, so I'll go ahead and search for her. And that was actually technically our real first conversation.
Yeah.
And we had a few here and there, but to sum that up, at Target, we did not really talk a whole lot. We knew of each other, and we were nice to each other, but we didn't have a whole lot of conversations.
We did not because, okay, because typically when I'm friends with somebody, it's easy for me to talk to them. And even though we were kind of like more so acquaintances, like the lowest scale of friends you can be, but for some reason, every time I wanted to talk to him, he always had some other friend of his swoop in and try to talk. And I'm like, I'm here.
It wasn't on purpose, though.
I know it wasn't on purpose, but I would just be like,
Lord.
okay, I guess this is gonna have to wait for another day.
Lord.
But that's the craziest thing to me is that I'm very extroverted. Like, I'm a little introverted, but I'm more so extroverted. So I'm very like outgoing, and I love talking to people, and I love talking in general. But for some reason, with him, and I didn't even think about think about it as me liking him. Because I'm just like, I'm in a relationship. I don't care, I don't like him. I just wanted to, be friends with him because he seemed really cool. But for some reason, I had the hardest time trying to talk to him. Like, I would have to sit there and build up the courage to speak to him. And I remember there were times where I either heard his name on the walkie and I knew he was in the building and I knew he was going to pass by my department, or if I was passing by his department, I would think of conversations beforehand, before I passed him or he passed me, just in case he was going to stop to talk to me. So I'd come up with a whole topic and whole sentences and, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about if he chooses, not even knowing if he was going to speak to me or not. That's how, like, crazy I was about not being able, and it pissed me off because I could talk to anybody else, but for some reason, I couldn't talk to him like that.
Right. And so, to sum up Target, many months went by, and we had conversations here and there, but we eventually went our separate ways. She left to go after another career, and I stayed a little bit longer, and then I left. And I went to a different Target near us that's a little bit farther away. And so, it was about 6 months, and we never communicated. We didn't have each other's number, no Facebook, no nothing. We never even... I didn't even know what she was doing. She didn't know what I was doing.
The only thing I knew is that he worked at that Target.
Right.
He had no idea. We completely forgot to mention the text messaging.
Oh.
While we were working at Target, I had gone through a breakup with my boyfriend at that time. And my friends, being the best friends that they are, they decided, well, we're going to help you get back on your feet. Maybe you just need to meet someone new. And I wasn't really feeling it all the way, but I was like, whatever. I mean, it can't hurt anything, I guess. Mind you, these friends also worked at Target with us. So they both personally knew him as well.
Yep. And
they were asking me who I thought was attractive, who worked with us, and I'm just going down the list, and I was like, well, Sean Electronics is pretty cute. And they were like, oh? And one of my friends happened to have his number. So she was like, well, I'll just text him right now and see what he thinks about you. And I was like, please do not do that. Like, he is not going to find me attractive. He's not going to think I'm cute. Like, he's not interested. Like, I would know if he was interested, and he's definitely not interested in me. And but they were like, well, we're going to do it anyway.
And so what happened was, they texted me, and she basically asked, do you find, are you into Alexis? Do you think she's attractive? And I was actually interested in the girl that was texting me.
Right, the girl that was texting him
interested in
me.
Yes, I was interested in.
Right, at the time, he liked her. And she did not like him.
Right. And so what happened was...
Drama.
I told her, no offense or anything, but I just don't see Alexis like that. Like, I think she's a cool person, but I just don't see her in that way. And I stressed it hard that I didn't want them to tell her because I didn't want it to get awkward or weird. And come to find out, they were there together with her. I didn't know that. And a few shifts went by, and I could tell that she probably knew.
It wasn't even a few shifts. I think it was literally the next
shift.
day.
Right. Well, I could tell over the next few shifts that you were still a little awkward or
Yeah, because
like.
I don't think I spoke to him, because the very next day we worked together, I think the day after
She
that.
avoided me like the plague.
I did not necessarily avoid him. It was just I didn't have a reason. Like sometimes I would just go through to do our huddles, which is something that we have to do in
At
other
Target,
departments
right.
at Target. And I didn't have to pass him or his department, and he happened to not pass me or my department. So it kind of was like chance, but I wasn't going out of my way at the same time to, because I was just like, I can't believe y'all did that. Like, I told you that was going to happen, and they felt terrible, but I was like, I mean, it didn't bother me necessarily, because I talked myself into knowing that's what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, whatever, it's okay.
Absolutely.
It's what it is. He isn't interested in me. I saw it coming.
And so like we have said, many months go by, and
Mm-hmm.
we go our separate ways. And one day, or I should say, previously, her and her best friend, or one of her good friends, tries to go to Target multiple times to just talk to me and like be cool with me.
We used to hang out all of the time outside of like work.
Right.
Even after I left, we both hung out all the time.
Right.
We still hang out. Like her and her boyfriend, we double date all the time.
Yep. And so what had happened was they kept trying to go to Target to see me, and I was never
Mm-hmm.
there, or I was on break, or I was doing something else.
Right.
And one night, they come by a few hours before my shift ends, and I, start talking to them, just, BSing, seeing what's up, seeing what's new. And at the end of the shift, I leave, and we're still talking, and we're all just, having some fun. We go out to the parking lot out of the Target, and we're talking, and I start to realize while we're having this conversation, because I never really got to talk to her, and as we're talking, I'm noticing that there's more and more that we have in common,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, this chick's actually kind of cool,
And just a disclaimer, with my friend being there, we both were talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit easier for me to talk to him in that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as we started finding out we had more things in common, it became easier for me to talk to him in that moment.
Yep.
Because I was like, okay, this is going pretty good right now.
And so as we went through that conversation, one thing that definitely clicked for me was when we were saying goodbye, when I was saying goodbye to them, I hugged her friend, and then when I hugged Lexi, I hugged her, and then I picked her up off the ground, and I held her for a few seconds, and I put her back down.
Mm-hmm.
And her friend noticed that, and of course points it out, because that's the joys of her friend.
Yeah.
And she says, well, why didn't I get hugged like that? And I'm like, okay. And so we just continue on a little bit longer for the conversation, and I go, okay, I gotta leave, and completely ignoring her friend, I hug Lexi the exact same way again. Pick her up again. And we exchanged numbers that night.
Mm-hmm. We exchanged numbers in hopes of getting together, because we were getting a whole bunch of Target people together for our escape room activity, and we wanted him to be a part of our team.
Right.
So that's why we originally exchanged numbers.
Right. And so as I leave, I send her a text and her best friend a text. And something happened with me and her best friend where the text, it went through, but she didn't, she was just,
respond.
cool, whatever. She
Right.
didn't say anything.
Right, she just thought it was, making sure it was their number, so
Right.
she didn't think to respond.
And so Lexi asked her, did you get a text from Sean? And she goes, no, I didn't.
Because I think she didn't notice that he texted her
Right.
at first, and then when she did realize it, she goes, oh, okay, whatever.
And Lexi thought I just texted her, not her friend.
Right, so just by chance, I was under the impression that he only texted me and not her, and I was like, what does this mean?
Mm-hmm.
Girls, we overanalyze.
And so a few days go by, and we're kind of talking
Mm-hmm.
here and there.
We just kept on texting.
Yep, and then we go and decide that, we can try and give this a shot. So,
Because we decided that, or he realized in that moment in hugging me, apparently, that something, I guess, had changed or clicked or whatever, and he all of a sudden was like...
I think it was because I didn't know her that well, to be honest, in the beginning, so getting to know her for a few minutes was, I guess, just enough to push me over the edge.
Intriguing, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. He was intrigued.
And so we were texting, and basically we decided to go on our first date.
Right.
And that's
it
when...
came up as
a topic.
Yeah,
I was joking with her, and I said I wanted a cuddle buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your response?
I can't even... No, I think I was like, yeah, that would be nice, and
And I said like, let
you
me
were,
know. Or,
right.
let,
No,
I'll
you
let
were like,
know or
well,
something.
I could be your cuddle. Like,
Right, I
trying
can
to
be your cuddle
trying to
buddy.
be dumb.
I was trying to be. It was a joke, ironically.
Right, like just.
I was trying to be funny.
Right.
And then what was your response, Meadow?
I was like, well, because all my ladies, even guys, y'all know, sometimes you never know what people's agendas are, and you don't know if they're just trying to hit your phone and, you know, get in those DMs or that pants or whatever, and I'm like, not here. Basically, I was like, you know, like, are you legitimately interested, or is this like a joke? Because I'm just making sure I was clear.
On the same page.
Right, like, on what was going on at that moment.
And ironically, at that moment, I was just like, well, I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Right.
We'll go ahead and give this a shot and see what happens.
We went on our first date a couple of days after that.
Yep.
And we got to know each other a little bit more and really enjoyed our date. You know, it was actually a really, really good time.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, well, let's do it again. And we did it again. And we went on another date after that. And we just kept going on dates. And then before you know it, a month later, after just casual dating and getting to know each other, we decided, you know what? This could work.
Mm-hmm.
I like you. You like me.
Let's go ahead and give her a shot.
Right.
For real.
So then we started dating.
And here we are.
I know.
10 months later.
I know.
And if you guys ever want like a video with more detail or more detail about like our first kiss or anything like that, you can always put it down in the comments and we'll give her a shot. Or if you give us some likes on this video, we'll give it a shot.
Right. Or we can do the first time tag.
Yeah.
The adult version, so that way we don't have like the
first time you drank soda.
I know. You know, that's an actual question.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I know. Just to kind of sum it up as to why we're even making this video.
We just wanted to show y'all that, you know, this is who we are. Mm-hmm. This is how we got to this point in our lives. And the reason that we made this channel is because, you know, we want to, entertain you guys, of course.
Also, we are kind of in the process of kind of starting a new chapter. Like, not only in our relationship, but just in our lives.
Right.
And we are moving in a couple of months. And we really wanted to be able to document, you know, our move and our, you know, adaptation to our new home, because we're moving out of state, so it's a pretty big jump.
A few states.
Yeah. So we're basically kind of going into this new chapter in our lives, and we really wanted to be able to bring y'all along and be able to look back on it and really make something out of that.
Yep.
You know, make it all the more special type thing. And, you know, we just love entertaining people.
Right.
And we thought, why not try to entertain people? We get a lot of questions on, like, okay, how do you plan on doing social media, and that can break up relationships, and how do you all keep your relationship going, and even though we've only been dating for 10 months at this time, it's just like, sure, it's not that long compared to a lot of other relationships out there, but I think we just have a different mindset as to who we are as a couple and what we intend to achieve together.
Because we're not looking for, like, you know, a fling.
Right.
We're both looking for long term. Like, we want to be together. We want to experience each other and be with each other for a very long time. And we have that feeling. And sure, we may still be in the quote unquote honeymoon phase, but I truly feel like no matter what happens, no matter how mad we get at each other, no matter how pissed off we get, I feel like the very next day we would be next to each other.
Because even when we do have, because every couple has their petty arguments and things, but like even when we do have our petty arguments,
we come right back.
Right.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, we're back.
We both, which is part of the reason why we work so well together, is we both have this mindset where we don't want to date each other just because,
you're there.
We're young and we need to experience life and we need to date around. Like, that's fine for anyone who wants to do that, but for us two personally, just individually in ourselves, we don't want that for ourselves.
Right.
And then coming together, we know we want that long-term relationship. We want that lifetime partner to experience things with. Like, yeah, we're young, but we want to be able to experience those things that you experience when you're young with each other.
Right.
You know? Like,
absolutely.
This is my best friend right here, and
we talk every day.
Every single day.
Every day.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we really hope you all enjoyed this video.
Right.
If you like this video, like it. If you don't, still like it, and let us know in the comments. But subscribe, do all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye.